good example. Facebook actually has held up somewhat
There you go.
okay. But again,
Not
it's
really.
starting to. Is that great? It's
Not
not like
really.
gap and go
Yes.
style. Tough market, man. Tough
I
market.
guess. I guess.
A good example. Facebook actually has held up somewhat
There you go.
okay. But again,
Not
it's
really.
starting to. Is that great? It's
Not
not like
really.
gap and go
Yes.
style. Tough market. A good example. Facebook actually has held up somewhat
There you go.
okay. But again,
Not
it's
really.
starting to. Is that great? It's
Not
not like
really.
gap and go
Yes.
style.
What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you're doing better than the long-term portfolios. I hope you guys survived a little bit, and I don't see it as a bad day. I see it as a buying opportunity, of course, for the longer-term perspective on a lot of things, but just be careful, buy slowly, buy nibbles on things, because the market could definitely get a lot crazier, a lot worse, drop a lot more. I don't want to bring fear, doom and gloom into the chat, but it obviously could. Market is gapping down a little bit from the massive, 4% day, over 4%. For the SPY yesterday, just has not had a bigger single drop since 2008. So, you guys have black screen. All right, let me get a screen up. There you go. There it is. So yeah, have not had a bigger drop since 2008, and all good. I mean, the funny thing is, if anybody came in like the last 12 months to start like, hey, I want to be an investor, I want to even start my long-term portfolio, if I want to learn to trade, like, these markets are wild. This is like, people that have been in the market for a long time have not seen the market move the way it's been moving. So just keep in mind, progression, one foot in front of the other. Go slow. Don't go all in on positions just because they're down 80%. They could still drop 50% from that low. Just keep that in mind. But be careful treading water in the market. So let's start with the SPY. I do have Cisco up. Actually, we'll just start with Cisco. They had earnings yesterday. They actually beat on, I believe, revenue, but their guidance was horrible. So guidance was bad. That took this stock down a whole 24%, I think. 25% after hours. That would be shocking if that didn't happen every day. Every single day that seems to happen, where the company just 25% of the value just gets wiped out. So yesterday, Target was the victim. Today it's Cisco. No company is safe. No company is safe at all. We do have a gap down in the SPY itself. Let's take a look at this one. Let's figure out what this gap means. this is, so technically this is a retest gap. That means we've sold off again one of the largest selling days since 2008, which you guys can remember what happened there. Obviously, a big gap like that today when the market was so high still doesn't have the same meaning that it did in 2008. That's why the market could actually get completely hosed and wrecked still even further. I know it's a weird concept, but it could happen. Protect yourself to the downside. So technically on a day trade basis, this is a retest gap where we're actually opening. So we're not below this little high wave candle, not yet, but we are actually opening below the low of that candle. That leads me to believe that maybe this doesn't actually fill the gap from yesterday, but we end up pushing some kind of resistance right around 389.43-ish. And if we look at the screen right now, with all the pre-market activity, we're getting right into that zone, right? So right into that 389 and change zone. This is the level I'm looking for a break. If for the bullish side of things, if we could break this little pivot pre-market, that would tell me, all right, we probably could get to a retest of 391.60. Let's look at pre-market. 391.60-ish, 392, somewhere in that zone. We already did that pre-market. So we've already actually retested this pre-market. We've actually retested into this pre-market. So honestly, your guess is as good as mine as far as your guess is as good as mine as far as if we open and start ripping higher or push down. These might have already been the retests, but what I will wait for is some of those levels to kind of clear. So again, not a lot of room, I don't think, to the upside. That 389 and change, 389.70 zone. If that breaks, we even seem to have some kind of tweezers. I don't know if those are real tweezers, if they're just prints in the market. But if they break, we can get to the next level. I'll be optimistically bullish at that point. But again, I'm probably looking for retrace to that 391.60, 392.40 zone, somewhere up there. If that zone breaks, if we're somehow still on the train ride and we're taking this thing up, we might be able to do a fib. We might be able to see if we get a 50% retrace of yesterday, because that was a big, massive day down in this zone. We were bought up before as well, so it's possible. Sol says China big miss. Let's take a look at just a quick Chinese stock. Yep. So China's gapping down as well. But I mean, big miss everywhere. What? Can somebody please tell me what didn't miss? AMD, and even AMD is getting clobbered. Jay says, do you believe the index futures expiring this morning will have an effect? Will we could turn midday? In some way, yeah. I don't think just because those contracts expire today, I don't think that's going to overall change the sentiment for the market. Again, I'm still overall in the market, generally long-term, very bullish in the market in general. But that doesn't mean we're not going to pull back further. Right now, when you have companies that are getting killed 24-25% overnight, just the trillions of dollars being wiped out of the market, I think it's going to take a while for sentiment to really come back into this market. So we'll see if that's a turning point. If we look at the daily chart, let me pull up the other screen actually. I've been watching this for a while now because I'm like, we could start to get some kind of, like, we might start to get a little reversal soon. And if we don't, it's just going to get really bad really quick, as if it hasn't been already. But this is the hourly. Let me flip to a daily chart real quick. So if I'm looking at the daily chart for the SPY, this could be potentially, this was probably some kind of wave 3, 4, 5. This is out ABC. I think this starts out wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a full-on squeeze. I think this is some type of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that was the last 3 days of what you would assume would be called a rally. And then this drop is C. So I think we are at a crucial point in the market. Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. We could definitely start to look for some kind of turn. I mean, we're down a lot, like a huge amount, since March 29th. So if we do start breaking under, which is why this candle and why today is going to be so important, if this candle does break, and especially if it closes, if it breaks, rallies up, all right, we might live to see another day. If this thing starts to close underneath this candle, this little high wave indecision, where the last stance of the bulls came in, this market, I think, could get tanked, whether the contracts for futures expire or not. I think that's going to be horrible sentiment for anybody. If we could survive, even if, I mean, it's not going to be an inside day unless something crazy happens in the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're already gapping down. So if we do retrace, again, we have some levels. It's actually a really bad opening that we're underneath the close of this daily candle. You can even see there's some type of VPOC down there as well. If we stay under that, especially closing below that wick today, then I think in a much bigger picture, we head a lot lower. If we could hang out here, this could be the ABC, and maybe we start to just trade a little bit sideways for the next couple of days, and then we look for some kind of reversal. Again, how big that reversal is, I don't know that we necessarily hit all-time highs. To me, there's no catalyst that tells me we should. But what we could do is probably draw a little fib from the start up here to the bottom here. Maybe look for a 50% retrace. That would get us into about, I mean, on an extremely good day, 618 is probably about this 431, so probably a little bit less than that for 50. But that would be the first move, and then we gotta kind of see what happens from up there. Do I think Ross follows suit with Target and Walmart? I don't think I've never shopped at a Ross, I don't think, in my life. So I don't even know what type of clientele that they would have. I would say that, so TJ Maxx yesterday, what's their ticker? TJX. They had a weirdly, obviously good day yesterday. I think this starts to fade. I have not personally seen a gap that has not faded in this type of market. So I think these guys give back a little bit. I think Kohl's probably has a little bit more to the downside. I think I think no retailer is safe, is what I would say. They're all going to face supply chain issues. They're all going to face inflation, where people have to be a little more selective as to what they buy, why they buy it. And I think retailers are going to get hurt a little bit in that. So I wouldn't feel too comfortable as a bull in it, but we could see maybe something. But I think even at any real gap, I think ends up fading in general. Ross's tagline is "Dress for less." DJ Dan has personal shoppers. If I had personal shoppers, I don't think I'd be sending them to Ross. Again, I don't know the clientele, but dress for less. No, personal shoppers won't go there. I need what's her name? Anna Delphi style lifestyle. She got personal shoppers. You go everywhere. I will wire you the money. So take a look at the Qs. I'm a little behind pace, a little bit, just a tad. Qs, at least on the Qs right now, we're not gapping below the open of this candle, so still midday range. It looks like we are sitting right at or slightly above a VPOC. So again, Qs, let's see if we can get some type of bounce if we start to break roughly 289.20-ish. We're gonna have a little, like, I don't think it's a pure just absolutely we get crushed. We're gonna have probably the low of this 287.38, and then again probably about this 285. So we'll see where this opens. Otherwise, technically it is a retest, so I would be looking at least bullish at the open, providing that this is kind of where we hang out. Maybe we can get into this 291.77 on the Qs, but tech is actually a little bit stronger, I think, than the overall SPY. Kind of makes sense. I mean, the Q's been getting absolutely anything tech related, absolutely just roundhouse kick to the face. Tesla. Faithful says China also seems to be buying Russian oil at a discount. They know a good deal when they see it. That must be it. I don't think they have any real alliances where they where that they couldn't. Who are they gonna, like, if the US starts buying Russian oil? I think we would make some enemies. Who's on the list? That's like, whose feelings is China trying to avoid hurting? I don't know. Tesla at 500 on Friday. Yeah, Falco is pushing for this Friday. I think Falco really wants this Friday. Again, yep. So this gap on Tesla, where's this thing actually opening? 702. So it's down actually a little bit more pre-market. This one might be bouncing back a little bit. I have a gray line here. That's just a huge area that I think we could get some kind of safety net. We just have a lot of this institutional buying that came in. And again, it is a wide range. None of it is at 500 though. So 580 is probably where we see that get saved by Friday. So I think you're good, Falco. But yeah, I think as we start to get into this range, I mean, the biggest key volume point somewhere around that 670. So that would be a low for me if we could get down there. One more break lower, freak everybody out, bounce off of there, something like that for a little bit. But eventually, I think we have to get some kind of a bounce. I don't think that was significant enough of a bounce to really save us. Again, this would be a retest gap on the 10-minute or the 10-minute EMA type strategy. This will this will not qualify because I think we're still technically in yesterday's range. We're very close to it, so we'll see. But this would be a retest gap. So again, I would be looking bullish. I wouldn't be panicking at open. Hector wants to buy Tesla 420.69. I'm gonna penny jump your Elon tweet number because I feel like everybody's trying to buy 420.69. So I'm gonna put it out for 420.70 so I could definitely get filled. Otherwise, I don't know. But we are below the 10 EMA on the daily chart as well. So everything's still kind of looking a little bearish. We actually were below a previous pivot as well. And again, it just, to me, I don't know which way this goes. So I'm going to wait for that first opening candle. I'm also, obviously, for the 10 EMA, it's going to be a little bit different. We will see. Range-wise, though, we do have some room to drop on Tesla. Again, 670, that's not even out of the question for today. Tesla could do a $30 move. So we will see. But all right, hourly chart, almost tweezer bottoms on Nvidia, somewhere at the 168.70 zone. That's already broken. So I would look for some kind of retest into that zone. Maybe we get a little bit higher. We have VPOC coming in at 169.88. So somewhere around that 169, 170 zone, that would be a decent spot to look for. Retrace, fails, comes back down. I do like Nvidia though to the short side. We have this untested VPOC all the way back to 159.57. That would give us a good range. So Nvidia would be high on my watch list for today. Again, we're going to try the 10 EMA on it. We were pretty dynamite yesterday. I know we hit 1.2 on Tesla yesterday, which apparently putting a target into the short side was a bad idea. We should have just let that thing ride to close. and we'd all have some new mansions. But we did have Johnny Gwarks come in right after, and then he took a Roblox trade. So pretty positive day for the real life trading community yesterday. But that just goes to show, as the market, I mean, we were making money as the market. I think Brandon, I saw the post, he had like 8 hours yesterday, something like that. As the market drops 4%, one of the worst days in since 2008, you can still make money to the downside. That's mind blowing. Delta to the downside, we have a little bit of support, 38.69, to the upside, 39.19. Make money day trading to buy long-term stuff that keeps getting punched in the face. Yep, you don't want to be patient on your day trades. You just want to get that cash, get that cashisha. Long-term, you just have to not look at. That's all. That's the only play. Tesla we looked at already. So again, I'm still looking for potential downside to a lot of things. I think we were kind of opening, at least. I mean, that was a massive day. I would assume we get retested a little bit, but it doesn't have to. I mean, the opening locations on a lot of these things. Apple not excluded either. So Apple, we could see. I mean, we had one. Here's our hourly chart on Apple. It's like find Waldo for the green candle. There he is. He made it right at the end of the day. He woke up late. And that we're gapping under. So Apple has Apple has some real weird Walgreens. Apple has some room to drop if we're looking at the hourly chart. I think we actually have to almost flip to a daily chart down to these ranges. Here is our last cluster of volume of institutional buying. There is nothing in the way. I mean, there's a couple of VPOCs around here. Maybe we get saved, but realistically, there's nothing to about 132.90. So we can see an $8 move. Again, that's a massive move for Apple. I've seen stranger things in my life, but ultimately, yeah. So if we do continue to break down, and this is just not some kind of just massive bear trap today, which at open doesn't look like it, that would be my initial first target. And then even back to, a little bit longer sense, about 120. So we have a lot of room. There's been no institutional buying. If we don't get saved here and we start to break, there's nothing really to save this thing. Hector says Apple to 120. Yeah, at least give me about a week, and then we'll be like, $70. I mean, if it gets under, if we start really breaking under this like 107.92, then we're definitely in some under $100 territory. But that's going to be a little bit of ways out. Again, this line, this is the most volume on a lot of charts. That's already broken. So Apple's still holding up probably better than most of the rest of the market. So we'll see what actually happens. Palantir gapping down a little bit. Datadog. Here's another one that's right at its longer term VPOC, is the Datadog. Gapping below yesterday's VPOC, gapping below the longer term. We have a little bit of consolidation in the zone, but Datadog could get wiped off the face of the earth as well. Airbnb, I mean, we don't have to scroll out because it's at all-time lows. There's no VPOCs. We're just in a wild territory. So this thing probably eventually breaches $100 with just the market pressure. I still like Airbnb though. I'm still looking to Airbnb. Maybe controversial, but I don't care. PayPal, another one. I mean, these guys are off insanely from the highs. So the market itself, though, is the sell-off oversold, or was that run-up overbought? That is the question that you kind of have to ask yourself when you're trying to get into a lot of the longer-term stuff. I mean, this is a really big sell-off, but that was a really big run-up. This one is still breaching below COVID lows, and they do have a fundamental actual business. They did lose the eBay deal, but they picked up the Amazon deal. So who Who would you rather go on a date with, eBay or Amazon? Thomas Wong says could be both. Yep. Definitely could be both. But even in this one, so like you can see like that 5 wave count kind of forming. We could be very close. Again, it might not be the the end of the market, but fear is extremely high right now. Everywhere. It looks to me like we're kind of getting that wave 5 coming in on a bunch of things. So we'll see if we just keep on plummeting or we want to actually take a little bit of a bounce first. Blood in the streets. I don't like blood in the streets. I like dancing in the streets. Netflix probably continues to go lower as well. Again, we have a little bit of safety, probably down at, yeah, already breaking that one. Yep, they're just gonna. No one's gonna know what Netflix is in 10 years. Is pretty much what I'm saying. Netflix just zero. I'm just kidding, by the way. It's not financial advice. Not financial advice. My previous comments do not foreshadow my future comments. Here's Roblox holding up from yesterday. What a world that Roblox was green when the market's down 4%. This one is actually one of the few that's above the daily 10 EMA candle. This is actually, you got a little bit of a 10 EMA play in here as well. So if you go on 10 EMA strategy off of Roblox, I mean, there's nothing more scarier than to do a 10 EMA off of a Roblox. But everybody loved it at 200, or what was it, 100, 120, something like that. Everybody was like, "Ah, Roblox." That's the metaverse. Let's take a look at real quick at Gregory Hills, INTC. Yeah, again, I can see maybe a little. I'm looking for that bullish candle, something like that. A couple of bullish candles at the open. Let something like, it's an obvious short. Everybody knows the market's short. So anytime you have these gap downs, you probably get some coverage to take profits in a wild market. So I would look for some kind of slight bullish move, but again, where we're opening, not great. The line in the sand for this one is about $42. So if that thing starts to break, we can see further downside. But obviously, Intel, huge, massive company. I don't care what they say about AMD taking their lunch money. I still like them. They actually do have a dividend as well, so we'll see. Earnings is coming up soon, so if you are making a swing or anything, just keep in mind. Actually, doesn't look like that's till July, so you have some time to make some plays. We got 3 minutes left. XLE. XLE. Good little gap down. I mean, obviously massive run for energy. I think eventually energy, which has been one of the few only safe markets, I think these guys do start to come down. We're actually gapping below that 10 EMA, so do keep an eye on this one. We could start to see some kind of reversal pullback. I think eventually the sell-off ends up bleeding a little bit into their market. Disney, House of Mouse. Probably not even a house anymore, just a shack that he lives in, probably like a used refrigerator box somewhere. That's where Mickey might be sleeping at this point. But yeah, long term, still Disney. I don't think Disney goes anywhere. We are still above that 103.30. So watch that 103.30, 103.40 zone. If we do start breaking below that one, again, buyers did come in around this zone. You got $100, nice whole grandmother number. Everybody knows Disney. I'm sure it's on everybody's watch list. People liked it up at 200. I don't see why 100 would be different. So just watch for those zones if they start to break. But again, we're either going to see the buying that happened before come in around these levels. And if they don't, then we are seeing a very big pullback pretty much across the board. We got one more. Let's take a look at MU. I think I got some time. MU still sitting above the daily 10 EMA. You're just in a big cluster right now. Nice little double bottom. This one's actually still kind of holding up. This could be the break. This still could be a retest. We'll see if these levels hold. If if we start breaking lower than yesterday, which is about 69 or about $70, something like that, then yeah, we probably end up getting a full retest down to about 66.91. That's where I would try it again. But it is almost time for the market to open. YouTube. Unfortunately, this is the part where we got to part ways. I will say this market has brought my confidence down extremely a lot. The only thing that really could bring it back up is to smash that like button, show me some love, and also check out reallifetrading.com for all the free education. And come join us. Chill with us in the trading rooms. We want you to hang out all day. But YouTube, I gotta go. We will catch you guys later.